Rob, get rid of this for you. Don't give it to any goalkeepers, all right? Hello, Borough fans. Welcome to the third half with me, James Hutchinson. On tonight's show, we're going to discuss the Fulham and QPR games, the phenomenon that is Adama Traore, farewell to Adam Forshaw, and what advice you would give to Tony Pulis with 9 days of the transfer window remaining. First of all, I'd like to say hello to our guest this evening, Tom McVeigh. Welcome to the show, Tom.
Hello, hello.
Nice to have you on here tonight.
Thank you very much.
Always good to chat after a good win on a Saturday and 3 points at QPR.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so we'll talk about that in a little bit more detail later on in the show. But first of all, unfortunately, we're just going to have to rewind a week to the Fulham match last week when Fulham visited the Riverside. And ultimately, Tom, it was a bit of a day that ended in frustration. Yeah. What was your take on it?
Well, I've just been watching the highlights again there because it seems like such a long time ago, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It's just one of them games, I think, where, you know, we've had chances and we had the most and better chances, to be honest. It's just one of them where we couldn't put it in the back of the net, isn't it?
Because I think a lot of people on the day were saying, actually, that was our best performance of the season, certainly at home. Although we maybe didn't test the keeper as much as we should have done, but the football we played, and in terms of playing a really good team like Fulham, they didn't have many chances throughout the game, did they?
At all, yeah. It was a lot of Borough possession, wasn't it, as well? I don't know the stats on the possession, but that's what it seemed like. Yeah. It seemed like it was all about the Borough that game. Yeah.
And I think what frustrated a lot of Borough fans as much as anything, and we'll talk about refereeing decisions and other things later on, but the chances that we missed in that game, I can remember Gusted missing some good chances, Braithwaite missing a couple, and then Assam Balonga, who came off the bench, had a great chance to win the game right at the end, didn't take it. Is that a worry for you that the forwards seem to be missing chances in games such as that, tight games? We're not putting our chances away. Is that a concern for you, Tom?
Maybe, yeah, but I think it was just like I say, it was one of them games really. It's like it is a bit of a worry that maybe the forwards aren't scoring. Yeah. But like I think they've proved that they can. Yeah. And I think it might have just been an off day for the forwards really. Yeah.
So it wouldn't be somewhere that you maybe think we need to address in the transfer window, maybe bring a new forward in, or are you happy with the forwards we've got at the club at the minute,
I think we have enough variety of players, especially like the forwards, to have a decent like striking force. I don't think it's somewhere we really need to address. I think we have enough. Yeah. I mean, we have Bamford as well.
Yeah. Good shout.
We have a decent variety. It's just how Pulis plays them, I guess. Yeah.
We're going to have to touch on these decisions by the referee and his performance, Jeff Eltringham. He made some key decisions, but some people have said to me, was that papering over the cracks or overshadowing some of our own shortcomings, such as the last half hour, did we run out of steam a little bit? Yeah. And people decided to say, oh, well, the referee should have given a penalty for the foul on Braithwaite, and that wasn't a penalty what Fulham got. But are the other concerns from that game, like running out of steam or the over-reliance on Traore or how predictable we can be in our play? Do you think the referee sort of overshadowed all that?
I think, yeah, maybe, but I do think that referee was out of order.
Right.
Because it definitely should have been a penalty for us, I think. And like I think it later came out, didn't it, that he was a Sunderland.
Yeah, ex-Sunderland season ticket holder,
something like that. So it'd just be interesting, to be honest, to see how they sort of pick referees. And
I think as long as you don't referee the club that you support, because I think you have to declare which club you support. So I know, like, former Premier League referee Jeff Winter, who's obviously from this area, Borough fan, couldn't referee a Middlesbrough game, but I do know that he refereed Sunderland and Newcastle games in the past. So obviously it's not just a thing that's specific just to Jeff Eltringham refereeing Borough games. And I do know in the last couple of years, I think he has refereed a few of our games and we've won them. So I don't think people necessarily picked up on it, that it was just because there was some debatable...
It was because it all came out, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And I think if you see, obviously, if you see he's a Sunderland supporter or whatever, then you're going to just jump straight on that, aren't you?
Of course you are. Because that's what football fans do, don't they? Sometimes don't think totally logically, we just think, hang on a minute, that's not fair, that, and I want to... So you thought the Braithwaite one was a definite penalty?
Yeah.
I don't think there's any dispute in that at all.
Is there really? No doubt.
I think it was an absolute stone wall. I haven't seen many where you think, everyone would say that's a penalty.
Yeah.
The Fulham one, what did you make on that one, the Fulham one?
I think he went down a bit too soft, I think.
Yeah. I think he was looking for it, but you do see contact with Ledbitter's foot and the top of Norwood's foot. And I can understand why the referees give it. In a way, it was a bit reminiscent, as frustrating as the one the Traore give away over to Cardiff. Same sort of thing, just leaving a foot out, just giving the forward the option to go over, isn't it? And they'll do it. So it was frustrating. Don't know what you think about that, viewers. You might agree, disagree with what me and Tom have said there. Please get in, give us your opinions, and we'll have a chat about it. So moving on from Fulham, obviously disappointed. Swansea moved down to 9th in the table, which obviously is a worry because we want to be moving up towards the top 6. Last week saw a few outgoings as well. First, Marcus Tavernier. He's come into the squad this season. Done a good job for an 18-year-old lad, hasn't he?
All right, yeah. I didn't mind him, to be honest, but I just never really saw him play that much, to be honest. Like, I just don't think he ever got the game time he deserved, really. Because
he did a good solid job. He scored a goal against Bournemouth in the League Cup, scored the winner against Sunderland at home, and for someone his age, he looked quite steady, didn't he? He understood his role. He didn't neglect his defensive duties, did the stuff going forward as well. He offered a bit of balance to the side, and I think he'll probably go on to have quite a good career by the looks of it.
Definitely, if 18-year-old, he's got a good career ahead of him, I think.
Quite happy for him to go to MK Dons for a bit of experience.
Bit of experience, absolutely.
Yeah, fantastic. And then the other one, which was quite a big news, but a lot of people were saying that it was going to happen. Adam Forshaw, he went to Leeds in a deal which could add up to £4.5 million. Yeah. Good bit of business, Tom?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I'd never really rated Forshaw.
Right.
I was probably one of the fans that never really rated him. He did a few good things for the club. Scored a few vital goals. Things like that. But I just think, especially seeing as though he rarely got in the first team as well this season, just think it was probably the right thing to do, especially for that amount of money as well.
I certainly think in terms of money, it's a good bit of business. He wasn't necessarily near the first team at the moment, was he? Seemed to be on the edge of it. And for the sake of his own career, he probably needs game time. Absolutely, he needs to be playing. So I think it'd be selfish for us just to hold on to him, and he's not going to get a game. So I think it's a good deal. I mean, the funny thing is with Adam Forshaw, 18 months ago, people were sort of looking at him maybe pushing on into the England squad. When we first got in the Premier League, people were saying, what a player. And I know he had an outstanding game up at Sunderland at the start of last season where he created one of the goals for Stuani. And people were saying he might push on to the next level, but it was almost as though he hit a little bit of a brick wall, like the team did, I suppose, last year, Christmas time. I think that's a fair point, Tom.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think for him, it'll be better to go to a club who he's going to get a match every week, isn't he? I get some game time every week. It'll be better for his sort of experience as well, like you say.
Definitely. Just a good one going back on the loan deals there with Tavernier. A good one from Mark Stonehouse here. Both Lewis Wing and George Miller. Lewis Wing's gone to Yeovil, George Miller's gone back to Bury. They've gone out on loan this week and both scored at the weekend. So obviously, it's a benefit for those clubs. Obviously, these lads are playing from Scotland, but it benefits the Borough as well, doesn't it?
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. I'm all for like homegrown talent, and then obviously sending them off to do their sort of business and then score the goals, and then obviously come back to the Borough, and then it shows Borough as in a good light, really.
It does. And hopefully it'll benefit us further down the line because we'll get more benefit from the experience that they've picked up. Yeah, definitely. Adam Forshaw, can't leave without mentioning that goal against Reading. Do you remember that night, the last-minute goal?
Yeah, it was good.
It was unbelievable.
I mean, that was one of his good points.
I mean, without that goal, we wouldn't have got promoted, automatic promotion. And it was just a crazy bit of pinball. And I remember Adam Clayton nearly took Albert Adoma's head off, didn't he, with that shot? They rebounded to Forshaw, and it was a great finish at the near post. So, wish him luck at Leeds.
Yeah, Tom? Absolutely, of course. I always kind of like wish Borough players luck at wherever they go on. But I think for him and for the club, I think it was the right decision, I think.
Yeah, fantastic. Any other players you maybe think might be going in this transfer window?
Not really, to be honest. I think we have a strong squad, to be honest. I think Pulis has kind of found his mark now with players he wants to play and stuff. And I think hopefully if we keep getting 3-0s,
that'd be great. That'd be great. No problems
every week. We'll be up there, won't we?
Yeah.
But I think I don't think we need anyone else really.
Yeah. Brilliant. Well, then we get to Saturday, and it's Loftus Road, and a fantastic 3 points for the Borough. Here we're going to listen now and see some of the opinions from the fans that attended the game on Saturday at Loftus Road.
absolutely fantastic afternoon here in London. Unbelievable performance. First half, got the goals. The second half was all about game management. Tony Pulis, game management.
Everyone wants to be at the top, but when you be at the top, you've got to play hard. We're not trying. You guys are. You guys have got the club. You've got a new manager as well. So yeah, you guys are going to do good, I think.
It definitely isn't boring. We're scoring goals. Yeah, I mean, we're loving the game, so yeah, chuff with that.
The passion, the commitment, we've got everything back we've been missing for months. And I tell you what, this fella, he's taking us to the promised land and he's keeping us there.
You never come to a game away from home or even at home and see George Friend and Adama Traore score in the same game, let alone Daniel Ayala as well. So yeah, it's a great 3 points there, great 3 goals.
Make diagonal runs and fake runs and it looks to be working. I mean, Ayala scoring again, he's going to be on top scorer soon.
Top notch for the first goal, but what a screamer from George. I mean, there was no way the keeper was going to get that.
Paddy Sky Sports said, should have saved this. Are you joking me? That was an unbelievable strike. Unbelievable goal. One of the goals of the season.
Oh, Tabatayoli! Oh, Tabatayoli!
Okay, Boro fans, hope you enjoyed that. For the full interviews, go on to BoroFanTV on the YouTube site and you can see interviews there which last quite a number of minutes from a number of fans at the game on Saturday. So I've just got a question before we talk more about the QPR game, Tom. Yeah. It's just come from Tony Guest. Howson and the back four are our biggest improvements under Pulis. Traore's also become more disciplined and the confidence has improved in the team. Do you think that's a fair point?
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, I totally agree with Guesty there. It's yeah, it is a massive improvement, isn't it? And
of course
I think you can see it in Traore especially, and the back four just looks solid.
I think it was one of those things on Saturday, maybe in the past, and I think it's not having a dig at Gary Monk, but even if you were 2-0 up in a game, I think I'd still be quite worried and concerned, are we going to let this team get back into the game? Yeah. On Saturday, it never really felt like that. And you've got a lot of confidence in this team now, and it's almost as though we've gone back a couple of years to having a solid back four. And you've got, once we get in the lead, there's a fair chance we're going to hang on to this. Yeah.
I mean, that was the thing, especially like when we were under Karanka, it was the forward, wasn't it, really? Yeah. Defensively, we were sound. Like I could watch a Middlesbrough match when Karanka was in charge, and be like, oh, maybe we'll let one in.
Yeah.
And I'd always be more cautious of the forwards rather than the defence. But I think it's starting to get that way as well, especially with Pulis now and our back four.
And it's not bad as well when people were saying, oh, Tony Pulis, long ball football, boring football. 3 goals there on Saturday at QPR. 3 goals at Preston, so that's 6 goals in 2 away games. I think the home form's something we need to address because obviously he's had 2 games at home and we've lost them both 1-0 apart from the cup game with Sunderland. But have you got confidence in Tony Pulis taking the club forward and
definitely.
encouraged by it?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you can getting away wins like that and scoring numerous goals per game as well. I think you sort of can't say no really to that.
It was 2 tough games and get 6 points. I think Boro fans would have snapped your hands off for that a couple of weeks ago. So Saturday saw the reintroduction of Patrick Bamford and Britt Assombalonga into the starting 11. Were you happy with that? Them coming in at the expense of Braithwaite and Gusted?
Yeah, I think so. I think it's good to see Bamford back again. Like I know he's only played a couple of games, hasn't he? A couple of bits. But yeah, I quite like Bamford.
I think he's a great player. Yeah.
He has that passion for the club as well. That you know he wants to do well for the Borough. Yeah, which is what I like about him.
I think there's definite quality there. We've seen it in the past with Patrick Bamford in the season where we got to the playoff final, and you know there's a good player there. And I think maybe in the same way that Tony Pulis has transformed Adama Traore, I'm hoping the same sort of thing can happen with Patrick Bamford. It seems as though there's only been Karanka that's got something out of him at the moment, but hopefully Pulis can do that as well.
If he gets a bit more game time in that as well.
Yeah, definitely. To see. And then we've just mentioned the man there, Adama Traore. I mean, he's just looks at a completely transformed player in the last few weeks, doesn't he?
Well, I mean, he scored, didn't he?
Yeah. Well, first goal in 50 appearances, I think. I think about 30 of them have been starts, 20 as a sub, but first goal in 50 appearances. I mean, phenomenal that.
I mean, like earlier in the season, and like he was pretty much just like he was kind of like given the opportunity to score, and he'd always miss like sitter of the goals and that. And it was just good to see him score because I think he's worked really hard as well for the club, and he's excited.
Yeah.
He's an exciting player, isn't he? I think.
Yeah. I think that's it. I think one of our viewers there, Chris McDermott, touched on it there, and he was saying about Tony Pulis has obviously put an arm around his shoulder, giving him confidence,
giving him a bit.
And he seems to be playing with a freedom now. But he's not just everything going forward; he's doing stuff coming back as well, isn't he?
I mean, there's a couple of times I've seen him like track all the way back and absolutely save like the defenders and that at times, but. Yeah, he's just got the pace, hasn't he, to do that as well.
Frightening pace,
He's a good player. I like Traore. Yeah. He's always exciting, isn't he? You never know what you're going to get with him.
Yeah. Well, and if we don't know what we're going to get, the opposition certainly aren't either. No, excellent. Talking about the defence and what a good job they're doing in terms of keeping goals out. Danny Ayala, 3 goals in a month again. And if you look back a couple of months ago after that sending off at home to Derby, people were saying shouldn't wear the shirt again.
Yeah.
Keep him out the team. He can't blame him. Again, he's another player who seems transformed in the last month.
Absolutely. He was another one. Ayala that was just like, I don't know. There was a time he went through at the Borough where he was like really defensively sound under Karanka.
Yeah.
And he was really like he was really good, and like he looked safe. He was always safe. But then like obviously Monk came in, and I think it was just like. I don't know whether it was his confidence or whatever, but he just seemed to like always be getting yellow cards, red cards. Yeah. And he just didn't seem. I think that's probably why people wanted him out, to be honest. Yeah. But it seems like you say, Pulis has come in and kind of put his arm around his shoulder and maybe giving him a bit of confidence.
Yeah. I think that's a key thing, isn't it? You're looking at a lot of that team, and it seems as though they've got a shot of confidence, whether it be from Pulis, and it must be because it can't be just a coincidence that he's just come into the job. And these players now, were a month or two ago, people say, no, not good enough to be in the first team. Like Ayala, like Traore. Another one we're going to talk about now, George Friend. People saying George Friend's really struggling for form. I mean, Friendinho, what a finish that was on Saturday. I mean, what was all that about, Tom?
Unbelievable when he, that goal especially. It was a bit lucky, I think. It was a bit lucky. I have a friend as well who like we always have this like debate who's better, Fabio or Friend, and I always say Fabio. Right. But after that,
no dispute after that. Isn't it? That is a great strike.
Yeah. And it's just that again, like, because Friend was another one of these players people always like were disputing about and like wondering whether he should get the game time and stuff. But I think after that, I think he deserves it. He's another Bamford as well. He loves the club.
We've seen with George. I mean, arguably the best left back in the Championship for 2 seasons in a row under Aitor Karanka, and I think last season hit his confidence as much as anybody's. And he had injury, and it was a difficult season for a lot of people in the Premier League, and I think it's just taken him time to get back up to speed again. But in the last month, you can just sort of see the old George Friend coming back, can't you? And that was a great strike.
I mean,
on Saturday.
That goal will do his confidence the world.
Yeah, it should do. And like I said earlier on, in the past, when we've been 2-0 up in games, you think, oh, we're waiting for the onslaught to come. What's going to happen next? Yeah. And again, you were waiting for it. And in fairness, QPR, they made some changes. They brought the big lad, Matt Smith, on up front, absolute battering ram. So you knew what was going to happen in the second half. But we stood up to it. Is that just as pleasing as the fact that we're scoring goals? Is that how solid we're looking again now, Tom?
Yeah, of course. Defensively sound again, really, aren't we? And the fact like we're scoring goals as well. Yeah, it's just there for a good side, isn't it? Like,
another clean sheet as well. You keep getting clean sheets, you're not going to get beat.
Randolph's a really good goalkeeper as well. I'm a big fan.
Big
fan of Randolph.
Good shot stopper, isn't he? He's having a good season. And then, like I say, we've got to mention the blowout when we keep talking about him. But Traore. And the goal, actually getting the goal, and it was a good finish. It wasn't as though it was just a tap in. There was still plenty of work for him to do, wasn't there?
I'm glad he scored, because I think that'll, like we said about Friend, that'll do Traore's confidence the world of good. And I think he'll. I know he was obviously he must have had a lot of confidence to play the way he does, but that like actually scoring his first goal, I think was it first goal for the Borough.
First goal for the Borough,
you can't say fairer than that, can you, really?
No. And like we said, it's not like it was an easy ground to go to. I think when I looked at the statistics from the weekend, only the 3rd time in our history we've ever won at Loftus Road. Right. So it's not a place where we go and often do well. So to get 3 points there is great. And I think Guesty was saying earlier on, it's our away form that's keeping us in touch at the top six, or near the top six, and it is at the minute, isn't it? But at the start of the season, we'd gone over a year without winning away. I know a lot of that was in the Premier League. So now we keep winning away, and it's our home form that we need to get back on track, isn't it?
It's a weird one, isn't it, really? Because you think, like, usually your home form's always the better of the two, home and away. But I don't know, just away this season, like from Christmas onwards, we just seem to be playing really good, don't we?
Yeah. And then just to shore things up as well, again, I think just showing his tactical know-how, Tony Pulis, he brings on Clayton for Bamford, moves down and out wide, pushes Howson further forward, just to keep you more solid. And it's just little things like that you think, yeah, he's reading the game here, he knows, well, you've got a lot of confidence in him, haven't you, Tony Pulis?
He's the thing I liked him as soon as he sort of came in, and it was his first like press conference, and he kind of said, yeah, I understand what Teesside and Middlesbrough are about, because he said, I think he's from like Wales or something,
from Newport,
town or something, and he said like he understood it, and I knew from that point, like instantly, I knew he was. I kind of like knew he understood the fans as well as the club.
It's like he's built up a rapport already with the fans, which maybe arguably Gary Monk didn't in the time that he was at the club, and you already feel as though when you listen to Pulis, and like, everyone laughs and jokes about him just standing up at his press conferences, but you can see that he's honest in what he's saying, and you believe in what he's saying, and I think the players probably feel the same in the dressing room as well. They've got a lot of belief and trust in him. So, Boro fans, if you want any more views there, or want to give any views about the QPR game, please just get in touch with us. We're going to look at transfer window now, because obviously only 9 days left of the transfer window. Tony Pulis has come out, Tom, and said that he's not going to be spending any money in this transfer window. Do you think that's the right thing to do, or do you think he should spend a bit of cash just to maybe push us over the line at the top six, maybe even have a push for top two?
I don't know. I don't think he really needs to be honest.
Right.
I think he should just build with the team he's got. Build on the kind of academy players as well who are coming up. Because I'm always like, I'd rather see academy players than like the whole like people buying big name strikers and stuff.
Yeah.
Like, I'd rather see like talent getting built up from the roots. But yeah, like I don't think he needs to really spend much money.
Right.
Just keep what he's doing, I think. And
is there any sort of areas of the team which you maybe think, actually, we could maybe do with a new player in this area? Before Saturday, people would have definitely said left back, and even now, maybe left back if Fabio is moving. You would need cover for George, or competition for George, wouldn't you?
I just think, I don't know, it's all up in the air, isn't it, with Fabio and stuff? And like you say, maybe left back. But yeah, I think the rest is okay, depending on whether obviously the other players go and leave us. And But yeah.
Just got a question here from Gavin Smith. A Sombalonga or Rudy Gusted up front, who would you go for? It's a bit like a horses for courses one, that isn't. There's some games where you think, I would go with a Sombalonga, and some I would go with Gusted. So
it's a tough one actually, because I really like Gusted. But I think I'd always go Sombalonga, just purely for his like record, his track record.
You think he's more of a threat in front of goal?
But I think Gusted, if it was from a corner header, I'd always go Gusted, obviously with his height and stuff.
Because he does offer you something, doesn't he? When he's there, you've got more of a chance of the ball maybe staying up top, and you think, you can see why Pulis favours Gusted in certain games, can't you? Outgoings, anything's been mentioned, or any names that have been mentioned? I know Clayton's been linked with a move possibly away, and obviously Ashley Fletcher, I know Norwich at the moment are looking like favourites to maybe sign him on loan. Would you be upset to see those two players move on?
Clayton, maybe. I appreciate what Clayton's done for the club, but I'm not really like a fan. But I know a lot of fans are big fans of Adam Clayton. I think it'd be interesting to see where he'd go if he left. But people like Ashley Fletcher, I think that they haven't had enough time at the club to build up that rapport.
It's a fair point. People. It's a fair point.
Because like you wouldn't really think like Ashley Fletcher, like he's not a fan name, is he? Really?
No. I mean, and a lot of money was spent on him, £6 million, which is a lot of money. And you think, well, are we just going to cut our losses and say, move him on? Or do you say, put him out on loan? 'Cause I don't know if anyone would pay that sort of money for him at the minute, 'cause it's a lot of money, isn't it?
Like I said, I don't know whether he's built up that rapport with the club, and I don't know whether fans like we've seen like really what he's capable of, to be honest.
Yeah, yeah. I know one or two people are saying about getting a creative midfielder into the team, and Jacob Ross has come up with one here. Bradley Dack, who plays for Blackburn. Yeah, used to be at Gillingham. He's been linked again, but I think Blackburn were looking at about £4 million for him. So if Pulis is saying, and he's true to his word about not spending money, that's probably not going to happen, is it?
It'll be an interesting one to watch. Obviously, to see whether he sticks to his word, or whether he actually like goes and buys another couple of players or whatever.
Yeah.
But just be interesting. We'll have to wait and see, won't we? I guess.
Yeah. Fantastic. Excellent. Right. So we've got there. Who do we need to keep hold of though? Who are the players that you're worried about? Oh. Hello BoroFanTV viewers, sorry about the technical hitch here, and we've had a bit of a transformation on the show as well. We've had Tom drop out and we've got Kev Short joining us on the show. You alright, Kev?
Sound, mate, yourself?
Yeah, not too bad, not too bad.
Champion.
We were just talking before we went off air there about transfers and looking at players possibly coming in, coming out. We mentioned Bradley Dack at Blackburn possibly coming in. Another name that's been mentioned, John McGinn at Hibs. Do you know anything about John McGinn?
Yeah, well, I watch Celtic as well as the Borough. So I've seen McGinn a few times this season, playing for Hibs, and he is sound. I know a lot of Borough fans are a little bit hesitant about Scottish players, given what happened under Strachan. But he's sound, he's good. He's kind of like a young Scott Brown for me, but a little bit more creative.
Right. Has he got goals in him?
I would say so. He needs to add more. Neil Lennon's been saying that for Hibs.
Right.
So, I mean, he had a nightmare against Hearts at the weekend. Hearts won the derby game.
Yeah.
But he's decent. You know, like 4 or 5 million's a bit steep at the minute, but if we were to get him cheaper and then maybe loan him back for a little bit.
So if you bought him, you don't know if he would go straight into the first team. Do you think he might be one for the future?
Given his current age, early 20s, I think he could start pecking into it, but I wouldn't let him leave Hibs for the next 6 months at least.
Right.
You know, make sure he's got another full season under his belt.
Yeah.
You know, he's not a first teamer straight away, even though he's played internationals.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. One or two people have been asking at the weekend. Obviously, we've got the FA Cup game against Brighton. Now, Tony Pulis is a big fan of the FA Cup. He's come out and said he wants to do well in the competition. Would you be tempted to make changes to the team at the weekend, Kev, or do you think, no, stick with what we've got, keep a bit of momentum going? How do you feel about it?
I still think promotion's the number one aim.
Yeah.
And I think we've got a deep enough squad to be able to swap things about a little bit.
Yeah.
I wouldn't change the shape or anything he's done like that, but I would like to see like Braithwaite get a bit more of a chance, see what he can do under Pulis. Whether or not Traore can turn it on week in, week out's another thing.
Yeah.
Do you start just dead? So yeah, I would swap things around maybe a little bit, but nothing drastic.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. Because I mean, for me personally, don't get me wrong, I think promotion is the number one aim for the season. But it's always a cup I'd like to see us do well in. It's the one cup we haven't won, and I would love to see us daily win the FA Cup. And I just think if you get through that on Saturday in the last 16, see who else goes out in this round and just progress as far as you can in it.
Yeah, that's fair enough. But do you honestly think we're going to win the FA Cup?
Well, got to win it one day, hopefully.
Yeah,
got to win it
fair
one
enough,
day.
fair enough.
But yeah, like I say, I think promotion. Do you think top 2 is too far in the distance this year, Kev? Do you think it's aimed just to get in the top 6?
I don't know, because you looked at what Reading did the other year. When they were totally in the doldrums and then they turned it right around.
Yeah. There's a few teams do that, don't they? They just come from absolutely nowhere and then all of a sudden they're on a great run and they're often the teams with a bit of momentum in the playoffs and doing well.
Totally. So I don't think it's beyond achievable. I think Wolves are up already.
Yeah, even though they lost on Saturday, do you think that's just a blip? That
I think they're up. I mean, you look at their squad.
Yeah.
And, you know, they've bought well, the sound.
Yeah.
So I think they're up already. No team goes unbeaten.
No.
So I think they'll be all right.
Yeah, because I think what we know, we're 9 points behind second place, aren't we? 9 points behind Derby, 2 points behind Sheffield United in 6th.
But we gave Sheffield United I wouldn't say a pasting, but we beat them quite comfortably at home. You know, it was only 1-0, but it could have been more.
Yeah.
So the potential's still there, and that was under the previous manager.
That's it. I mean, out of the teams that are in the top 6 at the minute, who do you think could be the ones that drop out the top 6?
I think Sheffield United could be one of them.
Right.
Bristol City, possibly.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see how this cup run affects them. Obviously, the Man City game coming up the second leg, if they were to get through that, or
if they lose Aidan Flint as well.
Yeah.
Because there's going to be Premier League teams looking at him. I know a lot of Borough fans have been saying to try and get him in January, but
I think that ship sailed for us now, hasn't he?
We haven't got a hope in hell. We haven't got a hope in hell.
Yeah. Just going back to the FA Cup, any special memories for you about the FA Cup? I was just looking through some records about 4th round games previous years, and I looked at Hensford when that was an away game and it got moved to the Riverside. The Man United game where we beat them 2-0. Going back even further at Ayresome Park, the Everton, the 3 games, and that replay where Mogger got to the last minute equalised and Trevor Stevens scored last minute extra time for you. Any special memories from any 4th round games or any FA Cup games in general for you, Kev?
Well, I mean, the main FA Cup one's always going to be the final, isn't it?
Yeah, well, it was a good memory for about 40 odd seconds.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But it was a cracking goal, though.
Yeah, it was a great strike. Yeah.
You know, poor old Ben Roberts. But, but no, I mean, we've always had like decent little bits of runs in the cups, haven't we?
Yeah.
We've not done too bad. So, yeah, it served us quite well. To be honest, I enjoyed the Sunderland game last week as well.
Yeah.
You know, or the other week.
Yeah.
You know, that was spot on. That.
It's quite nice. I mean, is that 5 in a row now we've had against Sunderland?
Yeah, exactly,
5 in a row, and we've obviously got them away in the league next month. But yeah, it was a comfortable win. I think my only criticism was we could have maybe put a few more goals on.
I thought we could have done, yeah. Definitely.
Yeah. Just got some more questions here. Our favourite games. I think this is probably my favourite in the Chesterfield semi-finals.
Oh, it was a beller.
Absolute. You went from absolutely down at the bottom with your boots to like up sky high when you went 3-2 up.
Yeah.
And that last minute equaliser, I think it seemed to take an eternity to go into the top corner. But as soon as it left the lad's head, you knew where it was going, didn't you? Yeah. But they were 2 great games then. So obviously, got the FA Cup of the weekend. Are you confident we can make top 6 though, Kev, before the end of the season? Do you think we can get the playoffs this year?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
I reckon so. We seem to be turning things around quite well.
Yeah.
He's getting the team playing a little bit better. He seems to know his 11 a bit better than what Monk did.
Yeah.
I think it's working better for him than it did previously.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And the players seem, just before you
They're responding, aren't they?
We were saying that there's so many players that maybe in the past looked as though they were lacking confidence or they were just seemed to be unsure of what they had to do. Now seem to be firing on all cylinders. Players that were out of form like Ayala, Friend, Traore.
Yeah.
And now...
Well, Ayala in his first game gets 2 goals for him and then scores again.
Yeah.
There's been a bit of silly talk about Traore potentially being as good as Janino, but you know
he's got some way to go before he gets there. But he's making a good start. He's making a good fist of it.
Yeah, he's doing well. He is. He's sound.
Yeah. Just getting some more FA Cup memories coming in. A lot from that 96-97 season. We've got Lee Burley mentioning the Juninho goal at Man City. If I remember rightly, that was a great goal. It was about 20 passes and it went from side to side. It was great movement. And then Juninho finished at the back.
Right.
Derby away. That was the first time we ever won a quarter-final that season. First quarter-final victory in the FA Cup when Rav and Juninho scored. But yeah, I think a lot of people are saying put a strong team out at the weekend because they think it's a good chance to go through and it gives us sort of an insight into how we're going to do next year. Brighton, it's a funny one for them as well because I know we've got Sheffield Wednesday on the Tuesday. They've got a derby against Southampton the Wednesday after. So obviously their priority is going to be to just stay up, isn't it, in the Premier League?
Yeah.
So what sort of a team do you think Brighton will put out at the weekend, Kev?
I don't really know what sort of team they're going to put out because, like you say, they've got to try and stay in the Premier League, but at the same time, they're going to need to pick the fans up and pick their confidence up as well. They have got a strong defence.
Yeah.
You know, Lewis Dunk, he's one of the best defenders in the Premier League at the moment, statistically. And what they're really lacking is goals. I know they're on about signing Moussa Dembele from Celtic, and I don't know whether or not he's the answer for them. So, really, I think they're just going to have to focus more on the Premier League survival. I think they're going to put out like a...
They made a lot of changes in the last round, didn't they, when they played Palace?
I think they're just going to put out like a half and half team. And to be honest, Palace are their big rivals. And for them to do that against them.
Yeah, good point. Yeah, they'll definitely probably do that against us. And I think what's also probably in the back of both teams' mind is they won't want to replay, will they?
Nah.
So I think both teams will want to settle it at the weekend, and I think having home advantage, it's a great opportunity for us to get into the last 16.
Yeah.
Just before we wrap things up for tonight, mentioning Brighton, obviously your mind goes back to the last time we played them here, the promotion day. What are your memories of that day, Kevin? Hopefully we'll have another day like that at the end of this season.
Basically nearly blew my head off.
You know? Can you remember much of the day? Because I think most of Teesside...
It was class. I mean, everyone remembers Stuani's goal. And everyone remembers Ramirez getting his leg sliced to pieces.
Yes, yeah.
You know...
Dale Stevens.
I'd have Stevens at the Borough now, but, you know... it was just a class day, wasn't it? It really was. It really was class. And fair play to Brighton, though, because... they did it the right way last year, and they've come back up. And you know, I haven't like sort of held any sort of grudges against them.
No, they're a good club that are well run, and you wish them every luck and success.
So I'm looking forward. Yeah, exactly. I'm looking forward to a good game, but I hope we beat them. You know what I mean?
Spot on, brilliant, Kev. Thanks for coming on the show and stepping in, Kev.
Not a worry
at all. Look forward to having you on again.
Yeah.
Well done as well to all those fans from all clubs that turned out at Victoria Park on Saturday to lend Pools a hand. Hopefully that story will have a positive outcome for Hartlepool United in the near future. Also, Borough fans, put a date in your diary, Wednesday the 31st of January, Maverick Sports Bar in Middlesbrough for Off the Bench with Jimmy and Josh. There'll be lots of lively chat and banter about the Borough that night. And thanks again for tuning in. Thanks for watching. All your contributions, much appreciated. Until next time, Red and White, you and me, Monday at 6, BoroFanTV. Till next week, UTB.